take the national anthem. And for the opening prayer, we will take the second stanza of the national anthem. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice reigns. Amen. May we be seated, please. I understand the second stanza of the national anthem is not one that we rarely or we often go to, and some of us, we have managed to grasp the first stanza. For the first chairman of the Port Harcourt Zone, Sir Dr. Innocent Iyala Harry, Fellow of the Institute. Good evening and welcome, sir. Royal Father of the Day, Igwe Ezenaya I of Okaraoba Ancient Kingdom. He is here with us, ladies and gentlemen. Let us give him a resounding round of applause, sir. Your Royal Highness, you are welcome, and we're thrilled to have you here. I'd like to also specially recognize the second chairman of the zone, who's also a fellow of the Institute, Mr. Chidi Okoro. A round of applause, please. Members of the Executive Committee of the Port Harcourt branch, those who would very shortly be sworn into office and to kickstart a new dispensation of the Institute here in Port Harcourt. I'd like to especially very quickly also recognize Mr. Kufre Uba, a member of the Institute, who's also the chairman of the Planning Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, let's especially recognize him. Also, the Honorary Treasurer, Mrs. Joy Ajibade, a member of the Institute, if she's here, would like a wave. Yes, ma'am, you look so beautiful. Very quickly also, I'd like to recognize Mr. Chukwemeka Kingsley Waneri, who's the Honorary Secretary. Yes, good to have you here. Also, the Honorary Assistant Secretary, Mr. Stephen Abednego. A round of applause, please. And in that executive committee, also, I'd like to specially recognize the Public Relations Officer, Mrs. Theodora Ezine Leo Edoche, a member of the Institute. You're welcome, ma'am. I'd like to also recognize the former Vice Chairman of the branch, Dr. Chinyere Woga. Is she here? Not yet, okay. Our special guest and keynote speaker, who's also the Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Uyo in Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. If he's here, let's put our hands together and recognize Professor Christopher Enyong Ekong. All right, I'm sure he will shortly join us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to recognize the chairman again of the Planning Committee and the members who have put together this event. You have done phenomenally well. I'd also like to especially recognize the panelists, if they're here. Sir Dr. Tamono Sisi Gogo Jaja, if he's here, I would like a wave as well. I haven't cited him. Also, Engineer Chuka David Eze, fellow of the Nigeria Association of Technologists in Engineering, if he's here. also a member of the panel. Well done. Members of the Institute, distinguished members of the Institute who are here with us, thank you very much. Critical stakeholders, thank you very much for being here. I'm also aware the Chairman, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Port Harcourt branch is seated with us, Engineer Idere Soari H. Ateke. If you're here, sir, just wave. Okay, ma'am. Well done. Thank you very much for joining us today. Invited guests who are seated with us, all our online audience members. I'm aware that we have Zoom and YouTube streaming this event live. We salute you and thank you very much for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the press who are here with us, thank you for finding the time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today we are so honored to begin a new chapter for the Institute, the Chartered Institute of Directors, Port Harcourt branch, as a new chairman is birthed, so to speak. We celebrate a new chapter in the journey of this institution as the reins of leadership is entrusted to someone who is visionary, who has exhibited and demonstrated expertise, integrity, and not integrity like we have become familiar with in River States, but integrity. A man who has also shown dedication to the advancement of the corporate governance and directorship of Port Harcourt. None other than a fine gentleman that we are here and so pleased to be associated with, Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, a member of the Institute, FNSE, FNSCHE. Let's put our hands together for him once again. I think we can do much better than that. I think so. I think so. We are not yet there. We are nearly there. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Obi Ivy, and I'm a radio presenter by day, and this is what I do by evening or night, if you like. I'm a master of ceremony, and today I'm standing sort of filling a very big shoe for my boss, who is supposed to be here, Mr. Segun Owolabi, a man that a lot of you have come to know and respect as a thoroughbred media personality, not just in River State, but the whole of Nigeria. And he has asked me to stand in his place today. So I hope I do justice to the occasion. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm so honored. I am so delighted to be here before incredible figures like yourselves who represent the pinnacle of leadership and governance in our country's business landscape, and it is such an honor to join you this evening. Without much delay, tonight is a very important night, and as my people will say in Oberland, where I come from, and I'll speak it in my language and I'll translate. It says, Otuto kwa diga la church kenyasi. They don't preach long preaching during evening services. So this is an evening service, and we're going to shoot straight. I'd like to, at this time, welcome the chairman of the Investiture Committee, who is also a member of the executives, the incoming executives of the institution here in Port Harcourt, Mr. Kufre E. Ubara. Let's put our hands together for him. He's also the vice chairman of the branch, as he steps forward for his welcome address.
Okay. The President, Chairman of Governing Council, Chartered Institute of Directors, members of the Governing Council here present, the past chairman of this wonderful zone here present, our real father, the chairman of the occasion, the dignitaries here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to stand here and welcome you all to this fourth investiture of the new Executive Council of the Chartered Institute of Port Harcourt in here today. It's going to be a wonderful time for us here. It's going to be a wonderful time for us here as we all sit down and usher in a new era. But while we are actually going to sit and celebrate the birth of a new era, we're still going to be looking into see the things that the past leaders, past executives of these great institutes have actually done so far. I want to please welcome every one of us to just sit, relax, but understand that what we are going to be doing here is not just to celebrate the birth of a new era, but also trying to see that the success of this new era is actually built on the successes, the greatness, the achievement of the past eras. So today, this evening, I want to welcome every one of us to this great moment, this great day. And please, it is not just going to be a time for just the ESCO. There's going to be room for networking. There's going to be room for interaction. Please ensure that the person sitting at that table with you, before you leave today, you actually know the person and the person knows you. Because the whole essence of us gathering here is to build a network that we can actually further on after now. I'm not a person of long speeches, but on behalf of myself, the executive members and the planning committee of this great investiture, I want to welcome you. Welcome and God bless.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause once again to the chairman of the planning committee of this investiture. Mr. AKUVUE, thank you very, very much. All right, I've been giving some more names to very quickly recognize, and I'll do that, and then we will move on. I'd like to recognize the chairman of the Nigeria Society of Engineers, Enugu branch, Engineer Chibo Uberto FNSC. Let's put our hands together. Ubalo, okay. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you here, and I hope the journey to Port Harcourt was not too tedious. Welcome. We also have a parish priest, mater parish and co-priest. Let's put our hands together for Father Sebastian Wosu and Father Chinedu Useni. Let's put our hands together for them. Can you just wave? Say that again, please. Oh, Sabinus. Okay, thank you. Father Sab. Oh, it's Sab for short. It's the more modern version. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to recognize the chairman, ICANN, Port Harcourt and District Society, Sir Edwin Okoye. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Without any more delays, I would like to hand over the microphone to the chairman of today's occasion as he gives us his remark. We are already pressed for time. We're way behind our schedule, and so we will shoot straight and we'll hit the bull's eye and be out of here in good time. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give a resounding applause. The chairman, CEO of Comex Steel and Construction Company, Chief Doctor Barrister Cosmas Agu. Okay, my apologies, I skipped something. Before we invite him over, I'd like to welcome, for the opening remarks, the President and Chairman. Please forgive me for this slip. The President and Chairman, Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, a man who we're so pleased to have him here with us, who will also be administering the oath of office to the incoming chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Alhaji Tijani M. Borodo, LLM, fellow of the Institute, as he comes forward for the opening remarks.
the compere was eager to hear the voice of the chairman of our occasion. Chairman, she will call you the second time and she'll pay a fine. But we understand that's one of those things. The royal father of the day, His Royal Highness Sir Engineer Dr. George Eze Nwanko, Igwe Ezenyani I of Okara, Oba, Ancient Kingdom. The chairman of the occasion, Chief Dr. Barrister Cosmos Agu, our esteemed guest speaker, Professor Christopher N. Ekong, the outgoing chairman of Port Harcourt branch, Chief B. Adonge Norte, FCIOD, the incoming chairman of Port Harcourt branch, Sir Engineer Dr. Mr. Alaji Innocent AKUVUE MCIOD FNSE FNSCHCN FN. Members of the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Directors and the Executive Committee members here and present, fellows and members of the Chartered Institute of Directors Nigeria here, past chairman of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Port Harcourt branch, our valued sponsors and guests, members of the Planning Committee, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. With great honor and pleasure, I stand before you on behalf of the Governing Council of our great institute to extend our welcome to you all on this auspicious occasion. Today, Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, has contributed immensely to our institute and has been found worthy to assume the esteemed position of the chairman, the fourth chairman of the Port Harcourt branch of this great institute. We have found him worthy in learning, governance, and character. His dedication, leadership, and commitment to excellence have undoubtedly paved the way for him to emerge as the chairman of this branch. Accept my hearty congratulations. I am confident that the Port Harcourt branch will continue to flourish and thrive under your guidance. I have seen some of it when I arrived today. I have seen it. Allow me to warmly welcome and express my gratitude to our special guests whose presence here today further enriches the momentous occasion. We are pleased to have His Royal Highness Sir Engineer Dr. George Eze Nwanko, Igwe Ezenyani I of Okara, Oba, Ancient Kingdom, the Royal Father of the day. You are most welcome, sir. You are most welcome, Igwe. Despite all the royal engagements, we are deeply privileged to have His Royal Highness grace us with his presence in person. It is indeed a great honor. You have adorned us. We will forever relish it. Thank you very much. The chairman of the occasion, Chief Dr. Barrister Cosmos Agu, Chairman CEO of Comac Steel and Construction Company Limited, an astute businessman, business leader whose business interest transcends decades. No thanks to your visionary leadership and sound business ethics, we are most delighted to have you chair today's occasion. The guest speaker, Prof. Christopher N. Ekong, of the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Uyo. He will be speaking on the theme, Navigating Economic Volatility, Strategies for Resilience and Growth in a Depressed Economy. And I hope after the lecture, we get the nuggets and practice what he suggests. The economy will become a bright economy, not depressed economy. We eagerly anticipate the insight he will give us. I believe it will enrich our learning, improve our service delivery, and strengthen our unity on the University of Uyo slogan says. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this occasion, which is the investiture of the chairman of Port Harcourt branch and the swearing in of his executive committee, I charge these members of Port Harcourt branch with the following mandate. First, you must never forget the values that underpin our institute: professionalism, integrity, and governance. These values are the very foundation upon which a director's credibility and effectiveness are built on. As leaders within Port Harcourt business environment, you must uphold these values in everything you do and you practice. Strive for excellence in your professional endeavor and lead by example, demonstrating the highest ethical standards in your endeavors. Remember, the spotlight shines brightly on those in positions of leadership, and the trust placed in you by your members and the wider community is a sacred one. Secondly, you must proactively engage the governance excellence. Proactively engage stands as cornerstone principles in the realm of effective governance. It is about actively seeking opportunities to connect with stakeholders, listening attitude to their expectations of you. And of course, this approach requires for you to cultivate transparency, accountability, and inclusivity across all your endeavors. By embracing proactive engagement, we equip ourselves to anticipate emerging issues, pointedly potential risks, and swiftly adapt to the changing circumstances. It empowers us to tap into the collective wisdom and expertise of our members, ensuring that our decisions are well informed and serve the greater good of our institute and the society at large. Also, embrace the spirit of innovation and creativity. Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo and explore new ideas. Seek out innovative solutions to address the challenges faced by the branch and the business community at large. The Port Harcourt branch can be a catalyst for positive change in the region. Encourage your fellow committee members to think outside the box, to be bold and visionary, in their approach. Remember, the most imperfectful leaders are those who dare to innovate and embrace change. Finally, I will implore you, all members, to build networks and foster a sense of community and camaraderie among yourselves by facilitating networking events and platforms where ideas can be exchanged and collaborative attitudes can be forged. Strengthening these connections will not only enhance members' engagement, but also foster a culture of collaboration and mutual support within the Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand an evening sermon should not be long, and very soon I will deliver. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here to celebrate the significant milestone, I would like to take a moment to highlight the importance of our upcoming Governing Council elections. Mr. Chairman, and members of the Port Harcourt Executive Committee, let me use this opportunity to admonish you all that a major part of your responsibility as executive of the branches is the ability to mobilize your members in your zone to participate actively in the activities of the Institute. The next most important activity is the general election. For example, the Institute has commenced the process of electioneering for this year. I urge you to sensitize your members and ensure you participate actively. The situation is worse in our branches, where a larger percentage of members fail to exercise their franchise. I therefore charge the chairman and the new ESCO that your first task is to ensure that your members participate fully in the coming council election. In conclusion, esteemed members and fellows, let us embrace the moment as an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to excellence, integrity, and good governance. Together, let us work tirelessly to advance the mission and vision of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, both at the national level and here in Port Harcourt. With dedicated leadership, active membership engagement, and a shared sense of purpose, I am confident that we will continue to make significant strides towards a brighter future for our Institute and our dear nation, Nigeria. Congratulations once again. May our leadership be marked by wisdom, courage, unwavering dedication to the betterment of our Institute and our country. I wish us all a rewarding evening. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause for the President and Chairman, Governing Council, CIOD Nigeria. Thank you very much. Very strong words that he said today. The part where he was calling the incoming chairman and calling his name over and over again reminds us of the time when, you know, our mothers would say, Emeka, Emeka, how many times did I call you? Well, those words have a lot of meaning behind them, and It's like the Bible says, he who has an ear, let him hear. Thank you once again, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to, at this time, welcome the chairman of the occasion. I had been told that I will pay a fine, but I want to humbly request that His Majesty, His Royal Highness, sir, please deliver me from this one. What do you give to a man who has so much? Thank you. All right, thank you very much, Your Royal Highness. Thank you, sir. At this time, I'd like to welcome now the chairman of the occasion, Chairman CEO of Comac Steel and Construction Company, Chief Dr. Barrister Cos Masagu.
The chief host, the president and chairman of the Governing Council of Chartered Institute of Directors in Nigeria. You came up here, I believe you have covered the field. So probably I'm just here to say a few things because you've covered all what I would have wished to say. Like one king in my place. Each time he's called up to say something and others have spoken, he said, people have finished saying what I wanted to say. So, impliedly here, I believe you've covered the field, you've said all what I would have loved to say here. But let me just say hi to the audience. So having said that, the Royal Father of the Day, my in-law, His Royal Majesty, Sir George Engineer, Sir Engineer Dr. George Ezewankwo, Ibu Nnukwu Igwe n'Enugu State, great king in my state. Let me recognize Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, Ozo Buruburu, Ozo Chinenyaku, Ozo Buruburu Nine, the incoming chairman that we're all here for today. The MC has told us, and I won't want to run foul of it, that every benediction is a short speech. So I want to I don't know whether I should deem it, but I want first of all apply that this well-established protocol by the national president, I should rest on it, and I will deem it granted, ladies and gentlemen. So having said that, I must say that when I was called up to chair this occasion, I became confused. Because this is that was the first day I heard about Chartered Institutes of Directors. And I tried to look at it. I discovered. I said, who are the Chartered Institutes of Directors? It is the Chartered Institute of Directors. It's a professional institute which promotes directors, develop corporate governance, represent our members to governments, enhance the economy for business development, and provide service to our membership. This is what I saw. You know, these days in the internet, you're open to the world. So I became relaxed and said, at least I have something to say. So, moving forward, sorry. I'm seeing what I'm looking for. A man used to call an occasion or a fundraising or a luncheon in my church. And before he begins, he would say, "Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Good evening, all." And that man is the man of the moment. So he will understand from the point. He will understand from the point I'm coming from. So I say good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome all of you. I bring felicitation from my family, from the management, and staff of Comaxil and Consultant Company. I welcome all of you to this momentous occasion. It is with great pleasure and a profound sense of responsibility that I stand before you. As we gather to celebrate this great man, to celebrate the events of engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE as the fourth chairman of this MT institution, we're celebrating him and his incoming executives. I think it's just to witness a very significant transition. One that marks both the end and the beginning of the administration of a dedicated service by the outgoing chairman and the commencement of a new chapter under the visionary leadership of Oza Oshudo and his colleagues and his executives. I must tell you for free, you don't need to pay money, that Engineer Dr. AKUVUE has distinguished credentials and unwavering commitment in whatever he put his hand into. And I'm sure he's very ready and prepared. I won't put commitment, and committed as well, to steer the leadership of this institution towards new horizon. His installation today or his invention today is not just a testament of his individual excellence, but also a reflection of a collective aspiration for the growth and excellence in corporate services and for the society. This I know him for. I'm speaking because I know him personally. For your information, he's my godfather when I did my confirmation as a Catholic. So I'm his son, so I can speak very well about him. My dear Doc, engineer, as you are in a team embarked in this new journey, I strongly believe that your dedication to principles that defines this institution, your dedication, your commitment to the principles that define this institution, which is integrity, excellence, corporate governance, will focus on your face, be your watchword. I'm very sure of that. And I'm not missing words. So, is my time up? Is my time up? One more second. I therefore enjoin all of us, especially the members of this institution, just close their eyes and join the boat. Close their eyes and join the boat. Be on board of the plane and doze off. Don't mind those cautions. If there's turbulence, don't bother about seatbelt. The captain coming on board is an experienced captain. The captain coming on board is a tested captain. The captain coming on board is a worthy captain. The man who speaks English is trying to speak, he say, etc., etc. So I enjoy you to relax. Put him in your prayers and with his team and with the leadership under him. I'm sure he will go close to Eldorado and leave the rest for the next incoming person after him. Because if you get to the sky, he will seal it. Don't get to the sky. Get close to it. So don't seal it because there's somebody, again, coming after you. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely and personally appreciate the president, the chairman, Port Harcourt branch outgoing, and all the members of this Chartered Institute of Directors. You are good, you are wonderful, your visions are wonderful. It's good. Only that I have to enjoin you to bring in, it's not, here in our system, it's difficult and very extremely difficult to do business in an environment like ours. Very difficult. And with this, the president, you follow up with the lawmakers, the legislators, you sponsor bills, ensure that the bills go through. You also follow and ensure that those bills that go through, because it's not about making laws in Nigeria, again, is to carry out the execution. I can give you one example for free. Especially these companies and these investors called foreign investors. And of course, all of us should know from where they're all coming from. I can tell you that they are not playing the rules of the game. A lot of illicit things are going on in corporate organizations in Nigeria. I went to an organization to procure a certain product. And that organization sold a certain product for me and told me 50 tons. I refused to weigh it because they counted it one by one. And by the time I took it to my establishment, I weighed it. It was 35 tons. They will not give you the receipt. If you don't want to pay, they won't deliver to you. So beyond what I saw here, it's also good you expand it further. Follow up to see that those legitimate and people who are paying with the rules of the game by corporate organizations survive the test of time. And not those ones doing illicit things will kill the ones that are doing well. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very, very much. Mr. Chairman, thank you. We're speaking about sponsoring bills. I'm beginning to ask myself, Mr. Chairman, which faction will you approach with the bill that you want to sponsor? As we know in River State right now, there are factions of the assembly. Or the national level. Well, fantastic then. It is my pleasure to recognize very warmly in our midst the chairman CEO of the Chico Group, Chief Madubuko Chinedu, is here with us. He has been here for a while, very humbly and quietly. Thank you very much for being here with us, sir. I'd also like to specially recognize a distinguished engineer of the Port Harcourt NSE, Engineer Fine Ogolo. Let's give him a round of applause, please. It's my pleasure also to recognize the President Matakwaya Pascal Okolie. He's here with us. Can you just wave, please? And of course, the MD Love FM 97.7 here in the city of Port Harcourt, and that's Barrister Dennis Dema. Let's put our hands together for him. All right. Very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I've been told that I will not be walking alone on this event. I'd like to welcome my colleague and co-compare. She's also a journalist from the office of the SSG, that is the Secretary to the State Government, Cabinet Bureau, River State. Please put your hands together as I welcome Tonye Inria Dapa to the microphone to take over with some other items that we have on the program today.
Yeah, thank you so very much. Good evening. I'd like to quickly say congratulations to the officials that will be sworn in this evening. I'd like to refer to them as the directors of the directors. They will be piloting the affairs of the Chartered Institute of Directors for this year. So congratulations, and I wish you a very big success in your endeavors. So without wasting much time, let me quickly call to this microphone as I please enjoin you to welcome our Royal Father of the Day, His Royal Highness, Sir Engineer Dr. George Eze Wankwo. Your Highness, you're welcome to the microphone. Please put your hands together for him and encourage him. He's been seated here for a while. Encourage him. I'm looking at this rostrum as a little bit high. I hope, oh wow, fantastic. Please put your hands together for him. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so very much. I bring the royal blessing to the Chartered Institute of Directors Nigeria, and I will start by thanking the chairman of today's occasion, my in-law. And if I want to get anything from him, I will threaten him that I want to take my sister back. And he will call all his friends, and he has never disappointed. Continue to be a good in-law. I also want to thank so very much the president and the chairman of the governing council, the Chartered Institute of Directors Nigeria, Alhaji Tijani Borodo. Immediately you came in, your elegance attracted me so much. And I went further when we exchanged pleasantries to say that you have become my friend. And when you become my friend, you become the friend of our ancient kingdom. Don't be surprised. We will invite you one of these days and the things that will follow, we don't want to unfold here. I also want to appreciate my very close friend and my worthy brother, who incidentally was the very first chairman of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, a gentleman par excellence, Sir Innocent Iyala Harry. I will not fail to recognize the past chairman, second and third. And then, not forgetting the priest from my parish. We call him Father Sabi Sabi. I love him because he will always go with his co-priest. Father, I hope I have your spiritual blessings too, while I hold the cultural and traditional royal blessing. I will not fail because they may delist me if I don't recognize the chairman of Nigerian Society of Engineers. Thank you, Lady Ateke. What a man can do, a woman sometimes does it better. And you are showcasing that and demonstrating that with the Nigerian Society of Engineers. I also recognize all the past chairmen and fellows of Nigerian Society of Engineers here present. I will not fail to come to my very bosom friend, Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, a revered chief of my ancient kingdom. Sometimes he challenges me and some of our friends. Anywhere there is activity, you will see Sir Innocent. I went to Texas and he was there. But the 2 previous days, we were together at Mata. I went to London and I saw Innocent. I said, what kind of person are you? He has not told me the formula he uses in managing time, managing humanity, managing resources. I've never seen a philanthropist that can compare with him. Having so many organizations to manage, the priests here present, especially Father Sabinus, very Reverend Father Sabinus, who can bear me witness. For those of us who worship at Mater Misericordiae Catholic Church, we call him Assistant Parish Priest, because he's always there in the church, doing what nobody expected him really to be so humble to do. And that is the man you have entrusted, or you will install today, to be the chairman of this institute. Is an assurance. With the royal blessing, Innocent will take you people to the next level. Permit me at this point to follow the well-established protocols, as I cannot mention one by one the names of all people here present. Pardon me if you are to be recognized and I didn't mention your name. Having said thus, the very first lady, the MC, the president placed a fine, and I have conferred with the president. I hope I have your approval to remove the fine from you. So today is not a day or an evening of long speeches. However, having known Sir Dr. Innocent for a pretty long time, I will say that this institute has made the right choice Though, notwithstanding that in Nigeria today, our economy is very unstable. The exchange rate you cannot determine. You are all members of the Institute of Directors. The greatest challenge our economy is suffering is because we are 95% consumer nation. We are not producers, and we are not producing. And the economies of any nation that is dependent on consumption will fall the way we are falling. In the past, we were talking of Uganda. I was chatting with Sir Innocent Iyala Harry, and I was saying we have reached the level where, like the Ugandan of Idi Amin, we say, go ahead and print all the money. And when the central bank governor challenged him, he said, you call Ugandan money shit money. I hope Nigerian money has not reached the level of being shit money. But I know you have capable hands in the Chartered Institute of Nigeria to reorder this, because you are development-oriented, developing directors, business leaders to change the economy of this country. Don't rest in your oars. Whatever you can do, take all your networking, international, globally or locally. Challenge the people at the governance nationwide. Challenge our politicians. Let us stop being a sharing nation, because it will reach a level there will be nothing to share if we have not reached that level. It's a challenge to the Chartered Institute of Nigeria, because I believe in your capacity, I believe in your competence, and I believe in your capability to change things in no distance time. Otherwise, the country's economy is really falling headlong. But God, in his mercies, our ancestors will not allow that to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish my very close brother and friend, a revered chief in my kingdom, a very articulated, development-oriented tenor for the Chartered Institute of Nigeria. And want to assure you, you will see what he will do. His hands turn to gold in anything he does. And he is innately and heartily committed to whatever he's doing. I will witness this. And in your next activity, if I'm invited, we will start checking the numbers, checking the indicators he has already set up and how he's performing. I'm sure he's very outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much, and continue to have the royal blessing. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's do much better than that for him. His Royal Highness, Sir Engineer Dr. George Ezenwankwo Igwe Ezenia, one of Okaroba Ancient Kingdom. Eze Igadio. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to very specially recognize the outgoing chairman of the Institute here in Port Harcourt, Mr. Barizage A. Norte, and he's a fellow IOD. Let's give him a resounding applause. I'm sure he's here. Sir Kanamwe, welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, also, again, I want to recognize Mr. Charles Daniel, the MD of Love 97.7 FM. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us today. Without any more delays, I'd like to welcome for the keynote address. Our time is way spent, and so we must make the best of it. And I'll just very quickly do an abridged version of his profile. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker, the Dean, Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. Professor Christopher Enyong-Ekong is a proud alumnus of the University of Uyo, Nigeria, the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria, John F. Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University, United States of America, and an alumnus of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPPS, Kuru, Nigeria. He's a practicing Christian, a husband of one wife, and a father of 3 children. Professor Ekong was employed as an assistant lecturer in the Department of Economics, University of Uyo in 1992. There is a whole lot to say about this man. He has served the Akwa Ibom State government as a member Revenue Mobilization Commission of the state. In March 2003, he was appointed by the government of Akwa Ibom State as Special Advisor, Bureau of Youth and Culture. In October of the same year, he was appointed Commissioner for Youth and Sport by the Akwa Ibom State government, a position that he held until 2007. Thereafter, in 2007, he was appointed as Commissioner for Economic Development and Chief Economic Advisor by the Akwa Ibom State government, a position that he held till the next year, 2008. And in 2008, he was appointed as one of the representatives of Akwa Ibom State in the South-South Nigeria Economic Summit Group. In 2018, he was appointed as member of Council Nigeria Institute of Social and Economic Research, NISA, by the federal government, an appointment he is holding till today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me so much pleasure to welcome for his keynote address today, Professor Christopher Enyong Ekong. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you so very much. I come in peace. In the age of a very troubling economy. And I'd been told to come here, or invited to come, and speak about or navigate the whole of the volatility of the Nigerian economy. And you have declared that maybe the economy is depressed. You will hear from me today in the next 20 minutes. I welcome you all. Tighten your seatbelt and be ready for what is happening to Nigeria. I want to expose it and to bring out strategies that we are going to survive what is happening to us. Economics is a very delicate science that practitioners must be very well trained and monitored to ensure efficiency in practice. Let me tell you, if a medical doctor makes a mistake, he kills one person. If an economist makes a mistake, he kills the nation. Compare Okonjo-Iweala, Soludo, and Emefiele. You'll see how Nigeria is being destroyed. So, what is economic volatility? Because it's good for us to describe this concept. I describe or define economic volatility. It's just fluctuations in our economic indicators, which actually shows or describes the business cycle in a price mechanism or a price economy. And indicators such as GDP growth rates, inflation, unemployment levels over time, and it is also a condition of instability. Once you leave the equilibrium, you are finished. You are going to see unstable conditions. God created the world in equilibrium. And that is why economics is a science and study of equilibrium. The day you leave the equilibrium, you are going to suffer. So, the impact of economic volatility, it can be seen or includes business cycle fluctuations, a scenario of boom and bust in the economy, investment decisions where you have high volatility, which often results from delayed or reduced investment, and employment and income, where you have volatile economies mostly experiencing higher unemployment and some income fluctuations. So my paper is actually to navigate the volatility with the objective of adducing strategies for resilience and growth in a presumably, supposedly depressed economy. So, the you have to look at the fundamentals of the Nigerian economy. The fundamentals, I'm sorry I didn't have my slide here. You should have seen my slide. The fundamentals of the economy is very, very, very interesting. First of all, we talk about the growth rate of the country, of the nation. For the past 20 years, our growth rate has been positive, except for 2007, 2008, where we had the world economic recession, and also for 2020, where we had COVID-19 at 2019. That's the only time we had a negative growth rate. Keep it that. I will say something about that. Then for inflation rate, it had been trending upwards. Now, between the last 2 years, inflation has been galloping, going up. And it totally defies economic theory, because we had been saying, for students of economics, if you read macroeconomics and you read Phillips' law, you will see us saying in economics that when unemployment is increasing, inflation is decreasing. When inflation is decreasing, unemployment is totally not so again. Now we have a situation where we have the two macroeconomic variables increasing in the same way, in the same direction, and we call it stagflation. So inflation in Nigeria is actually really increasing. Then the other fundamental is unemployment rate. Nigeria's unemployment rate has been on a positive trajectory for a long time. It is only last year that MBS decided to play Nigerians abracadabra by saying that they've introduced a new methodology to calculate unemployment. And believe you me, by this year, MBS says that Nigeria's unemployment is 5%. If it is 5%, it means we are at the natural rate of unemployment, meaning that there's no unemployment in Nigeria. But just step out of presidential hotel, unemployment will lock in the eyes. So we are coming there, and we'll see what we can do. Then there's another very great issue, or another variable that we use now to measure the economy, the level of misery, the misery index. Nigeria's misery index, when we want to calculate, we say misery index is when we add unemployment plus inflation plus bank lending rate, and we subtract GDP growth rate. You'll see our misery index. Nigeria is so totally miserable. As we speak, our misery index is about 69%. And we are still moving forward to get to more misery. However, I ask a question, which I want to answer technically in this meeting. Is the Nigerian economy depressed? In economics, an economy is considered to be in a state of depression when it experiences a long period of significantly reduced economic activity. In many cases, for instance, sustained negative growth rate, high unemployment rate, low inflation rate, decline in industrial production, widespread financial crisis. Also, it is interestingly, while recession is a normal life of a market economy, because a market economy or capitalist economy must have boom and bust due to its business cycle. There's something much deeper and serious for us to look at. As unlike recession, which is typically defined as a 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth rate, a depression lasts much longer, and GDP contraction is more severe in depression. So economists had over time tried to allocate time to economic occurrences that could be typed depression and recession. So in economics, technically, if you have your GDP growth rate negative for more than 4 quarters, you can be said to be in depression. But if you have it for like 2 quarters, you are said to be in recession. But if you look at the Nigeria's data, there's never a time that our GDP have been in that trajectory for more than two quarters. So technically, as economists, we will say that Nigeria, no day depression. Nigeria is not depressed. But if you see the issues actual things happening in the country, then you will feel that Nigeria is depressed. But from the economics technical view, we will say that Nigeria is not in depression because our GDP growth rate had never been at a level where we say for 4 quarters or more than 4 quarters had been at the negative age. So what are the problems? I want to sink now into the reason why you called me, to adduce strategies for us to get out of this quagmire. Where we are now is just something that we cannot define technically, but we can define as people who are feeling it. We have seen it. We know there's unemployment. We know some things are hard and difficult. And the Nigerian government, everybody, at all the levels of government, local government, state governments, and federal government, they are trying to put in place strategies to see what they can do to solve the problems. But the reason they cannot solve the problem is why I decided to choose a methodology that can help us in deciding strategies that can help us. And that methodology is what I call the diagnostics methodology. And in my diagnostic study, I look at what we do in Nigeria mostly is what we call aspirin solutions. We give aspirin to terminal sickness. Somebody has malaria, and you go and give the person aspirin, and you want the person to be well. After 15 minutes, the person will go back. So aspirin solutions have been our best medicine to solving solution because we look at the symptoms. We don't look at root causes. If you look at root causes and you actually look at how to solve root causes, you will surmount those problems. Let's take from the study, which I will give you my paper. I will give my paper to this institute. You see how I developed these strategic macro variables that are our problems. The first problem that we discovered is inflation. So I say, what are the root causes of inflation? There are several. I'm going to mention a few of them. First, Nigeria's inflation, the first root cause is food price increase as a result of low food production occasioned by insecurity in the food producing belts of the country. And what is the symptom? The symptom is simple: rising prices. So what has government done? Government is attacking the symptom by importing food and sharing to citizens as palliative to reduce hunger. The other thing they do is they transfer money to people who are perceived to be poor so they can buy food. What is the result? Simply, as food receipt finishes, hunger becomes more biting, while food prices in the domestic market keeps soaring because no new output is coming in. 2, economy is reflected because they are giving people money. People have more money now, but they still have the same number of goods that were still there in that market. The supply is still constant, but now people have more money. So economy is reflected without increasing production in order to increase supply of goods. And as demand has been increased with transfer payment, what they are paying to people as transfer money is just transfer payments, giving people more money. They go to the market, they see the same thing. So price must increase. There's no way price will come down. So what is my suggestion? My suggestion is just like, let us not look at the symptoms. Let's look at the root cause of the problem. 1, I am suggesting through this institute that invited me, because I will give it in my paper to suggest to government. 1, the government should declare a Marshall Plan for commercial agriculture, targeting the southern states of the country that is relatively secure and growing food to feed the nation. State governments should address the land tenure system and acquire land and partner with the private sector to develop commercial agriculture to increase food production and knock down food price inflation. 2, free transfer of monies to the poor for consumption should be stopped. Rather, such people should be sent as labor hands to farmlands established by government. They could then earn such payments until the farm makes profit to start paying them. Then the other aspect that had brought inflation to us is withdrawal of oil subsidy and subsequent increase in the price of PMS. What's the symptom? Symptom is closure of business and divestment, because many businesses have closed. So what did government do? Import more PMS and subsidize landing costs to address domestic PMS price volatility that may result from international market price volatility of the product. And 2, change energy source of vehicles from petrol to gas. That's what government has done. What is the result? Result is 1, sustained high price and scarcity of PMS. 2, major marketers are unwilling to secure forex, which is costly to import PMS due to Nigeria's forex market uncertainty, with NNPC remaining the sole importer of PMS to the country. 3, no accessible gas station and no PMS to gas conversion technology in the country 1 year after announcement. What am I suggesting? Government, instead of importing PMS, should immediately sum up all political will to restart our local refineries. This will seriously reduce the pump price of the commodity. 2, government should ramp up crude oil production in the country by opening marginal fields, as well as honestly dialoguing with the Ogoni land to heal the land and cause its abundant oil resources to be tapped. Because the way the world is going today, very soon, nobody is going to use oil again. I had made these presentations in a national conference of New Pengason, and I told them, the Western world know what they are doing. They know that you are profiting, and the Arabic world is profiting from oil, and they know how to kill oil. And for them to kill oil, they now say, let us look at clean energy. That's the same thing they did to us when they wanted to stop us from producing from using coal energy. They say it was destroying the environment. They left coal energy, entered oil. Today, those Europeans are using coal today to bring light, to power their system after Russia stopped giving them gas. So we have to think fast. The third issue that caused inflation in Nigeria was divestment, which has led to the reduction of supply of goods and services into the market, thus allowing demand to be higher than supply. And what was the symptom? Symptom was shortage in supply of goods and services to the market. What did government do? Campaign for new investors to come and replace the investors that are divesting without fixing the problems that encourage the former investors to divest. And what's the result? No new green investor after 1 year of campaign. When you hear that there's investor in Nigeria, they're all portfolio investors. They're coming in because central bank has increased the rate that they pay for treasury bills and treasury certificates. So they come and invest in that market and cash out after 3 months and after 9 months. So there is no green investor who has brought his money to come and invest. When Total Energy wanted to do, they now went to Angola with their billions of dollars. So you see that Nigeria is in trouble. So my strategic my suggestion is, 1, special lending rate should be advanced to manufacturers. Because these are the people, when you see central bank say the monetary policy while tightening the economy, I think nobody is advising them well. If you tighten the economy by increasing the MPR, that banks borrow money from you, you are encouraging banks to borrow money at a higher rate to investors and manufacturers in your economy. And as a result, those people who are manufacturing and producing output into the market are not going to come and borrow your money. They are going to stay outside. And there is no output into the market will be reduced because the cost of borrowing money is so high. So reduce that cost to manufacturers. Then 2, restriction on repatriation of profit should be removed. If I come into your country to do business, if I make profit and I pay my taxes, I should be able to repatriate my profit. So you cannot stop me by telling me anything about forex. 3, tax on deposit should be removed. How can I go to a bank to put my money and you say I should pay tax? I'm telling you, if you know what is happening today in Nigeria, over 80% of money in circulation in Nigeria is not known by the central bank because people don't go to bank again. In my state, Akwa Ibom State, only 5 local governments have bank. The others, there's no bank at all. So don't those people use money? They use money. If you go to market now, people won't take their money to the bank because they're afraid, they're apprehensive that what happened in 2023 can come again. So why do I have to go and waste my money? Or as I put my money, I pay interest on it. So I don't know who gave them that policy to start doing. Then 3, 4, high cost of production occasioned by high cost of power, insecurity, and inadequacy of qualified technical manpower should be comprehensively addressed. And I've talked about the second issue in divestment. There's increase in smuggling of goods like petroleum products and food items to neighboring countries due to the falling value of our currency vis-a-vis the currencies of those countries. And what has government done? Stop some goods like petroleum oil products and grains from being taken to the border communities of the country. And what has been the result? Increase and sustained hunger and restiveness of border communities. Because those communities are in Nigeria. They use this product, especially those of them who have a lot of fishermen. The fisher folk they use petroleum product to go to water. So when you stop it, how are they going to survive? So my suggestion, as a provide infrastructure and social sense of belonging to our border communities by attending to their complaints and needs, then national orientation agency offices should be strategically located in our boundary communities to continually preach the gospel of patriotism to the people. Interestingly, it is easier to convince the poor rural people at the borders who are facing conflicts with their bordering neighbors to be patriotic than comfortable urban dwellers, because you don't know what those people are facing. If you go to the border around Cameroon, where I have my place, you will know why I say we should do this. Because the people are suffering in the hands of the gendarmes. And they will be so happy if they have government coming to assist them. A few other things about inflation. Let me get to the other problem that Nigeria has, which is weak currency. Our currency is very weak. And what is responsible for the weakness of our currency? It is a high demand for imports. Chief has said it, the chairman said it, president said it, is the weak demand for, the high demand for imports. So what are the symptoms? The symptom is weak value of the naira against international market currencies. And what is government doing? Government started by unbanning goods that was either to ban and refuse forex at the official I&E forex window. They say unban, even toothpick, you can come and collect money to buy. 2, continue importing PMS while keeping our revived local refineries waiting. Port Harcourt is almost done. Dangote is there. The problem is we had sold our crude oil in advance, so we cannot give them crude oil. So you have to look at that to ramp and produce more crude. 3, allow foreign trips and missions for government agencies. That's what government is doing when we are talking about our currency. Then 4, encourage Nigerians to demand overseas education by giving government agencies backing to dole out billions of foreign currencies to pay for scholarships, even for subjects that are variously available and well handled in our country. So what's the result? The result of what policies government is doing is further weakening of the value of the naira, and 2, increase in demand for the products that could be produced or sourced locally, thus seriously pressuring the naira vis-a-vis other currencies. So what I'm saying, my strategy is that we should reduce demand for import by internationally encouraging provision of local alternatives. And we should, for hoarding, the next issue is hoarding for weakness of our currency, is hoarding of, hoarding of our foreign currency due to loss of confidence in domestic currency. People are hoarding the foreign currency. So the result is weak value of the naira. And what is government using? Government is using security agencies to chase BDC operators and see how they can take people out of government. So what's the result? No major recovery is made. Naira is still experiencing a fall. So what should we do? First of all, I said probe CBN, commercial banks, and registered BDCs to know who bought Forex from them at least in the past 5 years and purposes for such purchases. 2, employ moral suasion with incentives to appeal Nigerians who are hoarding Forex to bring them out and help the country. Then ban or restrict strongly the use of Forex in Nigeria and regulate the activities of these guys. So many issues I will want to bring, but because of time, I will want to conclude this paper. But you can get a copy of this epistle, because it's an epistle from this international Chartered Institute of Directors, because I will give them the paper. You can get this epistle and see how you can serve Nigeria. So understanding and managing the economic, in conclusion, understanding and managing economic volatility is crucial for ensuring economic growth and stability. Policymakers and economists must continually adapt strategies to mitigate the adverse effect of economic fluctuation and enhance economic resilience. So the suggestions in this paper to address the macroeconomic problems derived from the analysis of the root causes of the identified macro problems instead of the symptoms. If the suggestions are implemented, Nigeria's economic problems would have been largely addressed in order to navigate the economy towards a sustainable growth. Thank you very much.
Please don't go. Please don't go. Would like for you to take a spot just right in the middle, please. We're going straight to the panel session, and we will take questions. This entire session would not take longer than 15 minutes, so would ask that you pen down your question. Just write it down and then find an usher to hand it over so that we can take all of them. Peradventure, some questions are in the same category. We'll group them together and then ask them at the same time. So that's how we're going to go. But I'd like to welcome other members of the panel that will join us this evening. A public affairs analyst, a public servant, and a farmer who holds a PhD in comparative politics, political sciences from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He's a Knight of St. Christopher of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as I welcome Dr. Tamuno Sisi Gogo Jaja. All right. I'd also like to welcome to join him and join our keynote speaker on the panel today, another panelist who holds a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Best Electrical Engineering Graduating Student in 1995 session. He holds a master's degree in business administration, management option from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and he has over 28 years hands-on postgraduate experience locally and internationally, spanning across project management, procurement, construction, engineering, business, development, operations and maintenance, and executive management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Engineer Chuka David Eze, FNATE. He's the Managing Director, Frazimex Engineering Limited, an oil serve group. Please make yourself comfortable. Can we have some very strong young men move this podium? Able-bodied. Thank you. There's a laptop, so please be very careful. Thank you very much. Okay. As I said, all right. Can we have someone just turn this light so it faces somewhere else? Some people may have photosensitive disorders or whatever. Please just, thank you. This is much better. Okay, so I would let you give us a 3-minute summary of your overview of everything that we've spoken about. Thereafter, our next panelist will do the same thing, and I'll ask just one question, and then we'll leave everybody else to give us 3 questions in total. All right, so first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Tamnosi Sigogo Jaja. 3-minute overview.
All right, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This whole 20 minutes presentation by Prof, in a layman's language, simply put, is how do you survive in a hard economy? How do you survive in a difficult economy? Prof, I agree with some of the points, or the points you raised, particularly when you talked about addressing the root cause. You know, my problem with Nigeria is whenever we have opportunities like this, we like to theorize rather than addressing major issues. There is a fundamental, I wouldn't want to talk about theories that have been propounded by scholars. When I defended my PhD at University of Nigeria in Nsukka, I faced professors. And incidentally, it's an area I have been to, the legislature. After presentation, they said, look, you didn't talk about this, this, and that. And I said to them, I am speaking from experience. And the man who has experience will know more than the theories. Now, everybody seated here in this hall, if you have about 200 persons seated here, all of you are local government councils yourselves. If you have 200 persons here, why do I say so? Because if you go to your house, you're the one generating power for yourself. You're the one generating water for yourself. When you generate water, when you're the one sinking borehole or providing water for a family and light, you are an equivalent of a local government council. Sure. Now, Prof talked about addressing the root cause. And we're talking about inflation, pump water, pump money into the system, or stop transfer of money, lack of food, and all those. Now, there is something I will want to chip in. Prevention is better than cure. Prof, I thought that we would have looked at the issue of leadership in Nigeria. I heard when the chairman talked about the legislature. Now, if you go to the state assembly, how many lawmakers are exposed? How many lawmakers are degree holders? They are either cultists, or school dropouts, or those who acquire degrees from National Open University or Nigeria Open University, whatever it is called. Now, in that kind of situation, what legislation are they going to churn out for you? If you go to local government councils, degrees are, I am loyal. A man who says, I am loyal, a school dropout, what facility will that man give to the people? We have had a situation in this country where we queried the certificate of a president. Up till today, nobody knew. This is a country that has professors, specialists in every area. And yet, when we want to choose leadership, you get it wrong from the beginning. Now, if you don't have a right leader at the state level or the federal government level, and these people are not ready to assemble those who can help the situation, your guess is as good as mine. And therefore, for me, the worst part is those who return these people are professors, teachers. If you're a professor and you're returning and you're helping a school dropout to become your governor, what do you expect from that person? Nothing.
Right. Okay.
And those of you who are lawyers, you can't place something on nothing and expect a result. I think that we need to address the issue of prevention is better than cure.
All right, thank you so much. You can hang on to the microphone. Okay, so we're going to take from you, Dr. Chuka. Please go ahead.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank everyone, and especially Prof. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that wonderful remark. Very spot on, identifying the issues, providing some recommendations, and articulating some call of actions for us going forward. Before I begin, permit me to extend greetings to the leadership of the Chartered Institute of Directors, from my principal, Engineer Dr. Emeka Okwosa, who is also a fellow of the IOD and a CON. He is the chairman and group executive officer of OISAV Group. I come from a service company, and we as a group, OISAV Group, we provide engineering services and construction services across the client. But talking about or relating to the topic, navigating economic volatility, strategies for toughness in times of difficulties. I will say that it begins with ourselves, ensuring that we have a proper foundation. I take a simple example with my boss. He was a seasoned professional engineer with slum vision. He grew from the rank of a field engineer to manager, worked in over 6 continents. But he saw a need in Nigeria and left that comfort zone to come and start a business to fill the gap in Nigeria in terms of service provision in construction. That's one of the objectives. The second objective was to build human capacity development in Nigeria. So these are identified gaps that prompted him to set up a system, a company, that he developed over a period of time. Now, in this gestation period of this company, it wasn't easy. He passed through stages of difficulties, but the intent, the original intent of setting that is one of the things that helps us to build capacity and sustain toughness in times of difficulties that we all see in our face. We've talked about Nigeria as an economy that is fully dependent on oil. We've talked about that we are fully import-oriented company. We have natural gas that we are blessed with. And it is our responsibility as leaders, as the government, to see ways to extract these natural resources that we are sitting on, develop them to solve our problems. We have a population of 230 million as we speak, Nigeria. 55% of those population don't have access to power. Prof talked about, and the chairman mentioned, I think the Royal Highness mentioned about generation of power. We need to have these resources generated and push it to power so that we can encourage industrialization, manufacturing system. A typical example is geometric power station. Over 10 years was resilient, passed through the various difficulties, but he was able to sustain those economic difficulties and was able to put that power plant functional as of February at Abia State in Imo. Of course, it is interesting to know that Frasimes, we designed the pipeline that fed the gas there. Oyster constructed the pipeline and that. So we should encourage such diversification of services as it relates to service company and diversification of products and products as it relates to the nation. We should not be fully dependent on oil. We should go into the agriculture, and to that effect, we currently lack infrastructure, gas infrastructure to deliver it. Currently, with the help of the federal government, OISAV is responsible and playing a significant role in building the gas infrastructure in Nigeria. The largest pipeline, gas pipeline from Ajaokuta to Kano, segment 1 is currently built by them, and we have to do that. So in summary, we have to identify the resources we do, harness them and put them into useful use. We have to build human capacity, when we are doing that with what we have in the system. We have so that we can have a sustainable workforce that will be able to continue to provide solutions. Currently, as we speak, in the group, we have a system, indigenous graduate trainee, intentionally developed to build human capacity in Nigeria. So there are quite a lot of things we need to do. As time permits us, we're going to discuss them in details. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Okay, so here's my question, and then we'll take only 3 from the audience. I'm sure by now we have the ushers taking your slips. So, Prof, you mentioned that one of the things we've been seeing is the treatment of the symptoms as opposed to addressing the root cause. Now, why do you think that is? Is it perhaps, like Dr. Gogoja just said, that we have chosen the wrong set of people in the hem of affairs? Professionals, knowledgeable people, exposed people have chosen the reverse as people to take on the reins of leadership. Why do you think that is? And I just want a very brief response, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and 30 seconds.
Thank you. The issue of leadership is quite germane. But you cannot conclude without a study that we have not had people who are well educated, who have been in governance, from the local government to state to the federal government. They're educated people. But there's something that happens, that when they get into power, they don't understand why they're in power. Like my brother said, that professors are the ones who throw these people up into power. As is a local adage in my place. They wanted to kill a goat for the village. And the people that killed the goat were there, they slaughtered. And the one that came to put the goat on fire, that was the one the goat was looking at, when he was not the one that killed. What the professor does, the professor sits somewhere in a ward collation center or at local government or state. So whatever is brought to the field is what he announces. If he does not announce what they bring from the field, the law catches on him and he gets to prison. So these are the issues. I can remember also that a vice chancellor of a professor stopped an election and announced somebody in Abia State. And kudos should be given. So we should also clap for them. I don't stand in state for professors because I've not done election before. I have refused to do it. I'm a long-standing professor. I've refused to do it. But I think we should not only blame professors, we should also blame the cultists and the people that bring results from the field. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to you for your response, please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I'll give you an analogy. Because when you choose wrong leaders right from the beginning, when I was in my final year in the university, Ada George was a governor-elect, or my third year. Now, I was opportune to be in his sitting room when they were allocating portfolios, making recommendations. And the man that was recommended to hold an appointment from my place, Opobo, wasn't a graduate, and it was difficult to appoint him. They had to go back to bring T.G. Toby as Director General from the civil service to represent my people. Now, when they finished, as the judge said, I hope there must be one Opobo person inside here. Opobo people saw politics as a game for the never-do-wells. And when I left the university, I said we must go into it and change it. And today, we have an Opobo son who is the governor of Rivers State. Everybody is politically conscious, undergraduates, graduates, PhD holders. I thank God that you have never been part. But it is not what they bring in the field. I'm a participant. I spent 12 years in the legislature. I was leader Rivers State House of Assembly for 8 years. Now, when you do not take a right decision from the beginning, right decision, know the kind of people who represent you. I was talking with somebody who is running for councillorship election in Woolwich. And he said to me that he needs to talk to the Jewish community because they decide who becomes what in which county. Now for the business community, if you organize yourself and insist on quality, I can assure you that whoever wants to become what must fall back and you do proper assessment. Prof, I can also tell you, because I'm speaking from knowledge, I'm speaking from study. Don't forget, I'm also a scholar. I can assure you that 78% of those who occupy public offices are less than degree holders. And some of them acquire degrees when they are already in the office. And you know, Prof, I'm sure you're teaching. And you know, if I sit in the office, some do not attend lectures. I had a friend who was in the State Assembly with me, who went to Uniport here. And by the time he was graduating, he was a first-class student. The Senate had to come to sit over his result to bring him down because he wasn't a good image of the university. And I say, I insist, and that's the challenge we give to those of us who control the resources, that you must get involved. Because whatever decision is taken will affect your businesses. Right. If you get the right people, in the first place, there won't be difficulty in the economy. I think that's my position.
We're going to move on. We're not going to take your response. You will answer another question that has been posed. Now, one of the questions that came in, I think that the speakers have addressed the question of leadership that was sent in by Mr. Charles Daniel. So let's move on now to this one here that says, beyond suggestion to the government at different levels, what would you suggest the CIOD South-South-Southeast zone to practically do, okay, to help South-Southeast and South-South and Southeast economy? Let's take your response first.
I think it's quite simple. The president made a charge to the incoming chairman that, look, you must ensure that you get your members activated. So I think we are all leaders. Just like we are talking about a leader, the importance and role of a leader in a association, in a company, a nation cannot be overemphasized. So one thing is, one practical thing they can do is to ensure that you have more members, have active members that can come collectively and articulate all these challenges that are facing us. We have the solutions are with us. Articulate it and channel it through the appropriate quarter within the government and within the system to find solution. There is no challenge that does not have a solution. Right. And we cannot continue to complain about it. We just have to act, implement. There are a lot of laws that has been in place, but our problem, in my opinion, is implementation of those laws, and continually review those laws in line with the dynamics, global dynamics, microeconomics that are happening, so that we can get value for ourselves, for the company, and for the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We're out of time. We would have taken more reactions and more comments, but Prof has already spoken about it extensively in his presentation. And so let's put our hands together for these wonderful panelists. Thank you very much, Dr. Otamnosi Sigogo Jaja, and thank you very, very much, Engineer Eze. Thank you. Engineer Chuka, thank you very much. And Professor Ekong, thank you very, very much. A round of applause for them once again as they head back to their seats. Okay, so we're very quickly going to move on now to the most important part of today's event. Very important. It is the reason we are here. I would at this time like to humbly request that our incoming chairman please step forward for the reading of his citation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together as we welcome the man for whom we've gathered, Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, member CIOD. Please come up the podium. All right. Abridged profile of Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, KSJI, FNSC, FNSCHE, FPIN, FCAI, FIMC, FIEO, FIHNCD, FIMS, CMC, FHNR, CEGNR, Chairman, Port Harcourt branch of the CIO. Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE was born into the family of late Mr. Bernard and late Ezinne Victoria AKUVUE of Nibo in Oka South local government area of Anambra State, Nigeria. He holds a B.Eng honors degree in chemical engineering from the then Anambra State University of Technology, ASUTEC, Enugu, Nigeria, in 1986, that is now ESUT. In 1996, he joined the family business GGI International Nigeria Limited, which was founded in 1991 as the pioneer chairman and CEO. With his wife as the pioneer managing director, they both nurtured the company, which started as a general supply company to a strong player in the oil and gas sector. His excitement knew no bounds as GGI in November 2010 became the first channel partner for the then GE Water and Process Technologies in Nigeria. GE Water and Process Technologies was a business unit of the US-based General Electric with specialization in production and treatment chemicals. As a chemical engineer, this was quite fulfilling. He is not the typical Nigerian chairman of a board, but also a field engineer who would travel to locations and be part of the field operations team. He brought his diverse engineering experience to bear, which when he assembled the engineers in the company and they successfully engineered the design, construction, and commissioning of a 100% locally built sodium hypochlorite plant, which today produces sodium hypochlorite of international quality. The plant also serves as blending plant for oil fields chemicals. A very well-traveled CEO, Engineer Dr. AKUVUE is the chairman of GGI Group Limited and also sits on the chair of many other companies, a director of Nichem Ventures Limited, the investment arm of the Nigeria Society of Chemical Engineers, a member of ESUT Governing Council and BOT member ESUT Trust Fund, was also on the board of ESUT College of Medicine, ESUCOM, and a member of key committees of ESUT Council, that is Enugu State University. Member BOT, Rivers Bielsa Sheepers Association. He He's on the board of GMB Microfinance Bank. He's also the chairman of the board of directors of Polymer Institute of Nigeria, PIN, and was recently elected the Pioneer President General, National Shippers Association of Nigeria, NASAN. He is the current chairman of Nigeria Society of Chemical Engineers, Rivers Bayelsa, and a fellow of the same society. He is the incoming chairman of Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, and also a member of the same institute. He's also a member of the Port Harcourt branch of the Nigeria Society of Engineers, NSESCO, patron and pillar Young Engineers Forum, River State. He's also a fellow of these professional bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me, he's the man that we're here for. Nigeria Society of Engineers, FNSE, Polymer Institute of Nigeria, FPIN, and also the Chairman Board of Directors, Polymer Institute of Nigeria, PIN, Institute of Corporate Administration, FCAI, Institute of Management Consultants, FIMC, and Institute of Export Operations and Management, FIEO, and Institute of Human and Natural Resources, FHNR, Fellow of the Nigeria Institute of Shipping, FNIS. He is a registered chemical engineer, COREN, and a chartered management consultant, CMC. He is also a member of these other professional bodies: the Society of Petroleum Engineers, SPE, American Chemical Society, ACS, American Institute of Chemical Engineers, AICHE, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME, and Waste Management Society of Nigeria, WMSON. He served as the immediate past chairman, Nigerian Content and Careers Development Committee, Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE, Port Harcourt. He is a consummate family man, married to his best friend and confidant, engineer Chief Lady Betty Granville AKUVUE Ojefiozo Ochudo, a petroleum engineer and an astute business manager, and they both have 3 wonderful children. He's a 5th degree Knight, a Noble of the Catholic Church of the Order of St. John's International, KSJI. He is a UN Polak Ambassador for Peace and a Peace Ambassador by the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, that is HOPE, since 2017, and a UN Ambassador for World Peace, AMBP, since 2022 by United Nations Peace and Positive Living Awareness Center. He is totally unassuming, but at the same time, a passionate philanthropist. The incoming chairman, the 4th chairman of this institute here in Port Harcourt, Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, KSJI, FNSC, FNSCHE, and the list is so impressively on. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome the chairman, and that is the President and Chairman Governing Council, CIOD Nigeria, to officially administer the oath of office and properly dress him as is befitting of his new position. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together once again for Alhaji Tijani M. Borodo, LLM, Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Directors.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, earlier on it has been said when you have evening service, it's not supposed to be long speeches. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor and privilege to administer the oath of office to the new chairman of Port Harcourt branch of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria Limited. Please, can you repeat after me? You answer the questions as I read. Okay. So, in accepting the office of the chairman of the Port Harcourt branch, to which you have been elected in the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, will you discharge to the best of your ability all the duties of the office?
I will.
Will you uphold the professional standing, honor, and dignity of the Institute at all times by example and precept?
I will.
Would you be governed by the provisions of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria Establishment Act 2023, the Institute Branch Charter, and abide by the policies, rules, and procedures established by the Governing Council?
I will.
Having will you work diligently and faithfully for the advancement and betterment of the branch and its members?
I will.
Now, can you raise your right hand?
I, Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, do solemnly pledge to uphold the goals, mission, and objectives of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. I pledge to conscientiously and faithfully perform my duties to the best of my abilities in the service of the Institute. I pledge to work in concerted effort with other executive committee members of the branch to provide strategic leadership and direction towards achieving the goals and objectives of the Institute.
Thank you. Now, distinguished members of the Port Harcourt branch of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, it is my pleasure to declare Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, installed into the office to which he has been elected. Will all members of the Port Harcourt branch of this Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, stand and respond to the following statement? Can you stand up, please, the members? Can the members stand up, please? Can the members stand up, please? I want you to respond to the following question. Having elected Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, as your chairman of Port Harcourt branch, for the next 2 years, will you carry out your obligation to support and assist him in achieving the Institute goals? I haven't heard you. In that regards, I will say congratulations. Now, the beauty of leadership, of clear, defined, articulated leadership, is seamless continuation. May I invite the outgoing chairman of the Port Harcourt branch, Chief Adonge Norte FCIOD, to come forward This is the insignia, right?
Yes.
Okay. He had this for 2 years. And now it's time to get the new chairman, have this for 2 years, on prosperous 2 years. Can I ask you to do that, to clearly show there's continuity in leadership in the institute. Please do that, please. Done? There is the bit I'll do myself.
All right.
The outgoing, should I say outgone? Outgone chairman. Okay. Now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just a second. We are done with this aspect of the ceremony. And then we go to the next level. Chairman, you are welcome. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. There is the signing of this oath of office because we don't have a desk here. We'll sign it there with him. I will give him a copy of it. That's the last bit I'm doing here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President and Chairman. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you for doing us the honor. A round of applause once again for Alhaji Tijani M. Borodo, LLM, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Directors. And he has performed the most important task of the day. I'd like to, at this time, welcome back the chairman, the new chairman of this institution here in Port Harcourt, because he is going to do the very same to members of his executive. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a round of applause as we welcome Sir Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD. That which you have received, you will freely give.
Mr. President and Chairman, Governing Council, Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to leverage on the well-established protocols and go straight to what I'm supposed to do now. And this is to swear in the executive committee members, or rather, administer the oath of office to the executive committee members. Please, I would kindly request them to come out. Mr. Kufre Obaha, please step out. The Vice Chairman. Mrs. Joy Ajibade, Honorable Treasurer. Mr. Chukwemeka Kingsley Waneri, Honorary Secretary. Mr. Stephen Abadinego, Honorary Assistant Secretary. Mrs. Theodora Ezinelio Edochie, Public Relations Officer. Please mind as you climb up. Thank you. When I say I, you will say your names in turn, stating your position. I, having been duly elected to serve as on the Executive Committee of the Port Harcourt branch of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, hereby pledge that 1. So help you God indeed. And before I go further, I want to take the last item number 10, which you said, I will do everything within my ability to make positive contributions to the further development of the Port Harcourt branch and the Institute in general. This is one important charge I want all of us as the committee to make sure we carry out. Distinguished members of the Port Harcourt branch of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, it is my pleasure to declare the following members of the Executive Committee: Mr. Kufre Obaha, MC, Member, Chartered Institute of Directors, Vice Chairman; Mrs. Joy Ajibade, Member, Chartered Institute of Directors, Honorary Treasurer; Mr. Chukwuemeka Kingsley Nwaneri, Member, Chartered Institute of Directors, Honorary Secretary; Mr. Stephen Abadinego, Member, Chartered Institute of Directors, Honorary Assistant Secretary; Mrs. Theodore Ezinelio Edochie, Member, Chartered Institute of Directors, Public Relations Officer. Installed into the office to which they have been elected, will all members of the Port Harcourt branch of the Chartered Institute of Directors please stand and respond to the following statement. Members, please do stand. Having elected the above members of the Executive Committee as your branch executives for the next 2 years, will you carry out your obligation to support and assist them in achieving the Institute's goals? Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the new chairman decorates members of his executive council, we're looking forward to a brighter future for the Port Harcourt branch, CIOD. And we're optimistic that Mr. Chairman will bring his wealth of experience, his passion, his diligence for excellence. And we're confident also that under his leadership, the CIOD in Port Harcourt will move on to greater heights, picking up from where the last dispensation left off. Not, of course, forgetting the challenges that were surmounted, and looking forward to better days. Not without challenges, of course, but we're optimistic that the wealth of experience and wisdom of the new chairman, the CIOD, will excel. And now we'll take the acceptance speech from the new chairman.
The President and Chairman, Governing Council of Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. The chairman of this occasion, my big son, Chief Barrister Dr. Cosmos Ago. my royal father, His Highness Engineer Chief Sir Dr. George Ezenwankwo, members of the Governing Council here present, past leaders, past chairmen of our institute, very respected members of different professional bodies here present, especially Nigerian Society of Engineers, my chairman, and another chairman from Enugu branch, Chairman ICANN, Rivers and District, and indeed, leveraging again, once again, on well-established protocols, I must not forget to mention the presence of my brother and the chairman of Anambra Patriots, Chief Madubuko Chinedu Eze and Chinechendu Nadazi. I stand here this evening to accept wholeheartedly to serve as elected chairman of Port Harcourt zone comprising Southeast and South-South with members of my committee. I promise that we shall do our best to change the dynamics of CIOD in this zone, taking it to a level where members will be proud to so associate with the institute, bringing value addition to membership. We have the responsibility to increase members because when members were asked to stand, I felt a bit embarrassed, the number of members that stood in this hall. I want to assure you that the next time we meet, 90% of this hall standing shall be all members. I don't intend to make a long speech, but I want to say that me and my team, we are a family and we shall work as a team. Every officer must carry out the responsibilities of his or her office. And together we shall change the dynamics of the Port Harcourt zone of the Chartered Institute of Directors. God helping us. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the new chairman and members of the Executive Council. Please let's put our hands together for him as they make their way back. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we're moving on to the very next item on our program. We're very close to the end of this event. We apologize that we have stayed as long as we have. Dinner has been ready from the beginning of this event. Please be patient. We will ensure that you are very well fed. Some of you get angry and reject food. I don't know how you do it. Some of us, when we are angry, we get hungrier. So we will wait. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the at this time to help present the plaques to some very, very special recipients this evening. Again, the President and Chairman Governing Council of the CIOD Nigeria, Alhaji Tijani M. Borodo LLM, FCIOD. Let's put our hands together for him as he comes back. Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, you're not always here in Port Harcourt, so now that we have seen you, we want to maximize your presence. Thank you.
Don't blame me. I was in Abuja last week for a similar event. I'm here today. Then Abekuta. So that's my life. But I'm happy doing it. So who's going to be the talking? Yes. Yeah, but somebody should say who it is. Give me a representative. That's how it's done. Paul Kenny. Can I invite the keynote speaker?
Professor Christopher Nyong Ekong.
Our time is fast spent. Prof, we've got your nuggets. We've taken notes. We'll go and see how we can make Nigeria a brighter place that it's supposed to be. This is a token of appreciation for what you have done. From the Charter Institute of Directors, Nigeria, we appreciate what you have done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Prof. Sosong 8080.
Thank you.
The next recipient. Would like to welcome the chairman of the occasion to receive a plaque from the president and chairman of the CIOD Nigeria.
Chief, I want to say thank you most sincerely for being here. Your valuable time, your incisive words of wisdom. For those of us who have been in the theoretical aspect of business, we've been in the practical aspect of it. We thank you most sincerely for chairing this occasion. We've learned so much from what you have said, and I assure you, we look forward to making many other people know what the Charter Institute of Directors is without them having to go to the website and find out that. You are most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Chief Dr. Barrister Cosmas Agu. Our next recipient is Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to very sincerely apologize that it appeared as if we skipped one name on our list of those to be recognized, but I'd like to very sincerely recognize Engineer Kelvin Wanze, Executive Secretary of PETAN, that is the Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria. Just wave so that we acknowledge you, we cite you very well. Okay. Well, I'm sure it will be on record that he was recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome, to do us the honor of presenting the next set of plaque, a former chairman of the Port Harcourt branch of the CIOD, and that is Sir Dr. Iyala Harry. Please do us the honor of stepping forward. Sir Dr. Innocent Iyala Harry, fellow CIOD. Thank you very much.
May I respectfully invite His Royal Highness Sir Engineer Dr. George Ezewankwo to step forward, please. Your Highness, in recognition of your valuable support to the Institute as the Royal Father of today, we hereby make this presentation on behalf of the Chartered Institute of Directors, hoping that you find a space in your palace to keep. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Permit me to request the current chairman of the Chartered Institute of Nigeria to come up here just for a photograph, followed by the president of the Chartered Institute of Nigeria. This is an honor, unexpected, but well appreciated. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. To help us present the next plaque, I'd like to welcome the immediate past chairman of this branch of the CIOD, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Barizage A. Note, Fellow of the Institute of Directors, Nigeria.
May I respectfully invite Engineer Chuka David Eze to come over to the podium, please. I listened very intently to your contribution as a panelist, and I'm sure that all of us benefited from your wealth of experience. So in recognition of your participation, I have the honor on behalf of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria, to present to you this plaque. I hope that in capturing him, you will not cut off my head.
Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. All right, to help us present the next award, next plaque this evening is also a former chairman of this branch of the CIOD, and he's the second chairman, Chidi Okoro, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Directors.
Good evening, all. May I respectfully invite a former commissioner in Rivers State, former leader of the House of Assembly, Honorable Tamunosusi Gogo Jaja. Please step forward.
All right, so someone is receiving on his behalf.
All right. So I speak to him through you.
Thank you.
He spoke and contributed like a politician he is. And I hope that politicians will internalize the admonition he has given to us. The problem we have is that we are good at admonition, but when it comes to implementation, there is something that a bug that bites them in government house. So on behalf of the Institute, Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria, we are very grateful for your presence this evening and for your support and for your decisive contributions. I make this presentation on behalf of the Institute. Thank you. Executive Secretary of this branch, Mrs. Marianne Olisajindo Iloba. She has a long history of serving the Institute. She served when my boss served as pioneer chairman. She served when I served as second chairman. She equally served within the tenure of the third chairman. Madam, this tutor appreciates your contribution and your work to the branch. One thing I can bear testimony is almost half of members of Port Harcourt branch were brought by you. We want to thank you and congratulate you and say take this thing as our token of appreciation.
Congratulations. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Chidi Okoro, for doing us the honor. And now, very quickly, we'll take a very short goodwill message, and it will be coming from a former chairman of this branch of the Institute. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I welcome Sir Dr. Innocent Iyala Harry, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Directors. And immediately after that, it will be dinner time. So we are there.
Alaji Tijani Borodo, President and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Chartered Institute of Directors. Let me, in one sweep, adopt the protocol like they say in Nigeria, so I will make it brief. I'm indeed excited to be standing here this evening to thank all of us who are here to honor our colleagues who have been given the responsibility of piloting the affairs of our great institute for the next 2 years. The Institute of Directors, Port Harcourt, started in my office many years ago when we didn't have an office. And today I'm excited that it has grown to such a magnitude that we have our own office and we can attract the creme de la creme of Nigeria to events in Port Harcourt. Mr. Chairman, sir, that's the chairman of Port Harcourt branch. Your duty has just begun. And you have an onerous responsibility of galvanizing your team to make sure you do those things that we couldn't do over the years. You're going to hold hands with your team and with all of us to make Port Harcourt very attractive to the Institute of Directors and indeed the members in Port Harcourt. You must be deliberate and intentional about it, and that's the only way you can do it. Today, Lagos is seen as the pride of the Institute of Directors. Nigeria followed by maybe Abuja, but Port Harcourt should be next to Lagos just like we've been next to Lagos in GDP and everything. So, you have to deliberate about the SMEs and the growth of SMEs in the Niger Delta and the South and Southeast, because it's the hub of SMEs, which contributes to nothing less than 75% of the GDP of this country. We must be intentional to have the courses that are run by Institute of Directors run out of our Port Harcourt environment. That will create a crop of cohorts that will hold hands to make sure you succeed. And you must be deliberate, of course, about the network and events that will create effective network. I wish you well and your team. Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. That was straight to the point. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to move on to get served dinner. As I said, dinner had been served from the beginning of the event, and we're going to do this in a very orderly fashion. This first table that is seated by Mr. Chairman, and of course the Chairman and President of the Governing Council, of course the Royal Father and our very distinguished Chairman of the occasion, will go first. After this table, this other table, where our keynote speaker and panelists, and of course the immediate past Chairman, are seated, will go next, and then we'll move one table from each side, and we'll keep that flowing in a very orderly fashion. The ushers will direct you when to leave your table so we do not crowd the buffet. All right, so DJ will play us some very nice tunes, and I'd like to ask that the chairman of the Port Harcourt branch, please lead your guests, your very special guests, to the dinner. Thank you. DJ, we can also take advantage of this time to take pictures. There may not be a specific time for that. We can also network as well while we wait to get served. This is a good opportunity for networking. Thank you all so much for your patience so far, but we're almost done. Check.
False pretender. Stop pretending. I hope you receive the love I'm sending. Watch this.
Ain't no use pretending you don't feel the way I do.
Check it.
When this message at your body sending, I can tell you want it to. Why do you wanna hide the way you feel inside? It's too late to turn back now. Every little touch, it means so much. So girl, just let me show you out. Your body can't lie to me, 'cause I know just what you're needing. Your body can't lie to me. So bring me the central healing. If I could race us, take you places where you've never been before, to the edge of your desire, where you want it more and more. What do you wanna fight? Turn out the light. Come, let's make tonight the night. There's no resisting, love is insistent. Come, let's make it right tonight.
Before I make my move, my emotions start running wild. My tongue gets tied, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Oh yeah, and I've got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push you some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. A la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. Come on, a la 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 long, a la 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 long, 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 long. So I say to myself, if she loves me or not. But the dread I know that love is to get. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. The lyrics goes on the attack. My tongue gets tied, and that's no lie. I'm looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Ooh, girl, and I've got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat, sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you
Tijani M. Borodo, LLM, FCIOD. I also want to recognize our chairman who has taken over the activities for the institute in this zone, Engineer Dr. Innocent AKUVUE, MCIOD, FNSE. I want to also recognize our royal father of the day, His Royal Highness Sir Engineer Dr. George Eze Nwankwo, PhD, FNSE, FNICE, JP, Igwe Ezani I of Okara Oba, Ancient Kingdom. Please permit me to respectfully stand on the existing protocol.
Tonight we are amazed and we are so happy that we have had a successful event. That would not have been possible, but for the fact that we all are here, and we are here, we've waited patiently to the end of the event. So I want to especially thank every one of us that has taken their time to come to this event to support us. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time with us. We appreciate your presence. I want to thank our President and Chairman of Governing Council that out of his very busy schedule, he was able to make it. Please let's put our hands together for him. Thank you, sir. I want to also thank our Royal Father of the Day that despite his also busy schedule and his kingdom, he left his people to join us. We appreciate you. I want to especially thank all our past chairmen that made this event a success. We appreciate you all. I want to thank all our fellows that made this program, that took out their time to come to this program. We appreciate you all. I want to also thank our members for making out time to come to this program. Special thanks to all our sponsors, especially the few ones that I will mention their names: Income Electrics, GI International Limited, Multimesh Limited, and many others whose financial contributions were immense. Without those contributions, this event would not have been possible. So please, let's put our hands together for them. All our sponsors, we appreciate you. We appreciate our guest speaker. We appreciate all our invited people. We pray that as we leave this venue, that the Lord will go with you. We'll all get to our respective destinations without any hitch. Thank you so much. You know, they say in the evening program, there is no more much sermon. So my appreciation goes to every one of us. Please, let's put our hands together for ourselves. Thank you so, so very much.
Thank you very, very much. Honorary Secretary of the Executive Council of the Port Harcourt CIOD, Executive Committee of the CIOD here in Port Harcourt, Mr. Chukwemeka Waneri, thank you very, very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to humbly request, I know that some of you are still eating, and this will continue nonetheless. Can we rise to our feet as we wrap this event with the national anthem? I'm sure that DJ is ready for the national anthem. To close this occasion, it has truly been a wonderful experience, and I must thank the planning committee for the honor of being here today. Thank you so much. DJ, over to you for the national anthem. Thank you all so very much. Have a good evening and do get home safe. And to those who traveled from out of the city of Port Harcourt and River State to be here, Johnny Mercy, safe flight back home. We're so glad you could find the time from your busy schedules to travel all the way to be here in Port Harcourt. Have a good night. I am Obi IV. Thank you for the honor and privilege. God bless you.